What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Beyond the Forecast. We are back. We're here with meteorologist Jeff Edmondson,
Hello.
meteorologist Don Slater. We're going to be hanging out here and talking more about Erin because it is showing signs of strengthening now. And we're really a couple days out until this thing becomes potentially a major hurricane. But really, I'd say probably the day tomorrow, it becomes our first hurricane of the season.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's going to have some quick and rapid intensification here in the next 24 to maybe 48 hours, where it's going to go from 1 to maybe 2, but at least into a 1, it should start to ramp back up.
Yeah, by 11 a.m. tomorrow, I think it's what they're predicting thus far from the Hurricane Center. But once it gets up to Category 3, woohoo, major hurricane.
Yeah, major hurricane. It's going to go over the warmer waters in the Atlantic. That's going to be the key thing. So right now, the water temperatures aren't as warm as the water that it's entering.
Yeah.
That should be the fuel source, and that's what we're watching.
North of Puerto Rico is really like the bullseye spot for some of the warmest water. 87, 88 degrees, and likely at a pretty good depth too. That's probably important with upwelling, of course. So moving into some favorable areas for strengthening. And as a result, the cone is going to be showing that as we go forward.
Yeah, so here's the latest. This is the 11 o'clock advisory update. 60-mile-an-hour winds with a storm gust to 70. It looks pretty impressive on satellite for a tropical storm.
Of course.
Again, a tropical storm is where we're at right now. The storm, let's take a look at the forecast cone here. So by 8 a.m. tomorrow, Category 1 hurricane. So I'm still wondering if it's going to try and sneak in and strengthen by 11 o'clock tonight. We're watching that close.
Yeah, that could be. And they don't tell you until it happens. Half the time. So they don't. Sometimes they don't, because the Hurricane Center will, there it is,
surprise.
Right before the 11 starts, you'll be like, whoa, when did that happen?
So you have to update all your graphics.
They do that on purpose, don't they?
Update the copy for the producers. Producers have written in tropical storm or tropical depression or whatever,
Right.
And then they'll update to storm, and kaboom, there you go.
Yeah, so you can see the winds strengthening during the day on Friday from that 12-hour period. 8 a.m., 75 miles an hour, 90-mile-an-hour winds by 8 p.m. And then as we go farther into time, Category 2 by Saturday morning. So we go from 1 Friday morning to 2 Saturday morning, then Sunday morning to a 3. So 1, 2, 3 each day. We increase the category level, and that's where we see it likely peak here. I did see their discussion. This is the 11 o'clock update. I did read that one. So they were mentioning that there could be some further strengthening from the storm longer term.
Past 125, you'd say? I think that's probably pretty likely. I mean, it's going into an area, again, really warm water. I don't think the shear is going to be too much of a concern until it really lifts north of the Bahamas. And the dry air, which has been kind of plaguing this storm, looks to really settle down once it gets north of Puerto Rico, too. So all things kind of aligning down the road once it starts to make that turn to the north. That it's definitely not impossible that the storm maybe makes a push for Cat 4? Maybe.
Yeah,
it could get close.
It could very well be. The thing about it is, we don't know where that turn. We got to wait for that right turn.
We got to wait for the turn.
North turn. Because any little movement now, or any little movement north or south,
plays a big role down the road.
Yeah. So a little movement, 10 if they don't have the center of it correctly, and they don't really.
Right. It's tough.
It's tough because we don't have an eye on the storm.
Right.
And it's kind of wobbling around, and you don't have.
You're still getting new thunderstorms forming around the center. It's going to naturally shift where that center is.
Yeah, so they may be off maybe 30 miles either direction as to where the center of the storm is, because it doesn't really have a concise, tight center quite yet. So to predict it off of a concise, tight center and saying exactly where that eye of the storm is going to be, tough at this point.
Do you think that's where the biggest difficulty for the Hurricane Center is figuring out where the center is now for the longer-term forecast, or could it strengthen faster? Would that change where the path could go?
I think the challenge right now, because it's not likely to hit any people. Directly. I think the biggest challenge, and that's their first concern, is predicting the path of the storm. So knowing exactly where that center is, and once you get an eye on the storm, or really even once you get a 75-mile-an-hour hurricane, you've got a nice closed center.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
important.
So then you've got at least A of the B, C, D, E, going forward.
Yeah.
Right now, A is a little fuzzy as to exactly where the center is.
I also
because if they're off 30 miles right now,
it's going to skew the models.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to amplify itself as it goes further out in time.
I also think that when hurricane, hunters start to really dissect this thing, it'll give us way more data to work with too, and as a result, the models get a little bit better with that as well. I think it's just going to take a little bit more time once we start to get more of that information.
Yeah. Have you seen when the first flight's scheduled to be? I've missed that.
I remember yesterday they were heading to Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if they're sampling it now. It's pretty possible, but I think realistically in the next day or so they'll likely be starting to make the regular flights in and out of there.
Are they still using the Gulf Stream? I think they are, aren't they?
I'm not entirely sure.
I believe that's still in service. I haven't heard that
Should
was
be.
retired.
I didn't hear anything about it retiring either.
Yeah.
So
it's like the Gulf Stream as like a private jet. The only thing is it's full of computers.
They've got a bunch of different. They've got a bunch of different aircraft that they're going to be, I'm sure, using with this one.
Gulfstream is the aircraft that goes above the clouds. That one won't go into it.
It's a real high elevation. And what they do is they crisscross the atmosphere out ahead of the storm.
The environment,
to
see how favorable it is going to be.
Yeah,
because we don't totally know that exactly. We don't totally know how favorable. We know it's favorable, but we just don't know to what extent yet.
Yeah, there aren't exactly a lot of weather balloons going up in the middle of the ocean.
No.
Last I read, the sail drones are not going to be in operation this year unless something's changed, because we used those last year and the last couple of years where those small sailboat drone ships, autonomous drones, would float their way into the storm.
Yeah. Those were cool too.
We had one parked out here at the marina a while ago.
Oh, really?
It was a similar version, wasn't the one for the hurricanes.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, hey, that was cool to see. So that's what we have right now with Tropical Storm Erin. Again, 60-mile-an-hour winds. We'll get our next update in about 2 hours from now at 5 p.m. So we'll see what's changed with that. I don't expect there'll be any dramatic changes, but when that comes in, we'll also get some new model data as well. And we'll load up some of those models here. The computer's trying to think right now. There it is. So we're going to look at those, and then we'll take a quick break after that.
Yeah, we got 50 seconds. So
okay.
We got 50 seconds to chat a little bit more. But after the break, we'll definitely go into more detail as to what the long-term models are thinking, because they have been shifting a little bit the last few runs.
A little bit. We'll do the first part. So the first part, this is just showing the European model. We still have the GFS. We still have the Google DeepMind model that's been running too, that's been pretty consistent. So you can see they're starting to make a turn off the coast and maybe not coming towards the coastline of the U.S. So that's something that
maybe
might
skewing
be
a little bit.
there.
Skewing a little bit closer to Bermuda. Maybe the euro
could be
these last couple runs.
Yeah, because earlier the euro was
it was getting a little close. It was a little concerning. Yeah. There's I was like, oh boy, like that's a noticeable west shift.
Yeah. I got
maybe coming back a little bit.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is they shift west and then they shift east, so there's still lots of give and take in terms of what this thing is going to be doing. We're a week or so away, so it's going to be. We got plenty of time to watch.
And coming up after the break,
chances are we're fine.
Yeah, and coming up after the break, we'll talk about this in more detail. Stick around. We will be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. We're going to continue talking about Tropical Storm Erin, soon to be Hurricane Erin. We're going to dive deeper into kind of the long-range models here and talk more about this thing and what we can kind of expect as it, makes that turn eventually to the north. So you can see here we just showed the European models. We're going to also overlay the red ones there, the GFS model runs.
Yeah.
Looks like they're kind of coming into a little bit of a better agreement long term.
Yeah, I'm seeing the only kind of disagreement I see on this, and I don't know how much you can take into that, but you can see there's a lot more red showing up right here. So it looks like the turn is later on the GFS, which is not, but that hasn't been the case.
But sharper.
It is.
It is a sharper turn. Yeah. Those could also be maybe a couple outliers. Of course, those ones maybe you obviously want to take, pay attention to each one of them because you're slightly tweaking the initial conditions with each little ensemble there. But there is a pretty good clumping. For kind of closer to Bermuda, but still kind of split in the center between Hatteras and Bermuda.
I see the center line kind of being somewhere around there from all of them. For the Euro, it's actually, I would say it's a little bit more east. Well, maybe not that drawing because that was a I'm trying to do this with a mouse. Kind of like in this zone, I would say maybe for the Euro, like that. So,
the thing about it too is that the Euro has shifted so far eastward with this from yesterday that it's like whoa.
Yeah, because the Euro was the one that was like getting a little concerning for at least Hatteras and the Outer Banks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It had tropical storm force winds along the whole coastline.
Yeah. Not
Virginia
surprising.
Beach, Peninsula.
Yeah.
So that was like, okay, this is going to be not a major impact, but a pretty significant impact.
And if it's sometimes you'll see trends in forecast models too. You'll see a trend where it starts shifting westward, and if it keeps up that trend, you get a little concerned. Well, if it's shifting back and forth right now, not horribly concerned. So that's
right.
Good. There's kind of a curious thing too. Bermuda, they can get big damage off of hurricanes. And
they're sitting out there in the middle of the ocean. There's nothing. If a hurricane comes to Bermuda, there's nothing slowing it down beforehand.
Yeah, the only thing is that they don't get the big storm surge.
They're elevated.
You taught me this.
No,
it's not the elevation.
Really?
Nope, it's nothing to do with that.
Here's my
they
microphone.
Have cliffs, though. No,
They do.
What happens is
here's
my microphone, and here's the wind coming at Bermuda. Well, instead of running into it and the water climbing, the water goes around. The storm surge goes around the whole thing.
So the microphone being your island in this example.
Yes.
I got a shirt that's kind of the same color. So again, you got wind coming in at it instead of. So it goes around those islands. But once you get a continent, boom, there's no place for it to go around.
That's
Everything
fascinating.
comes up.
That is fascinating.
Yep.
It's
you didn't. I learned that from Don. I don't know, a year or two ago.
I had never heard that before.
Yeah.
No one's ever told me that.
Right.
And it makes sense, doesn't it?
That does make a lot of sense.
It's intuitive, but the name of the word is bathygraphy. In other words, the underwater topography.
Bathymetry.
Or bathymetry.
Yes,
that's right. I think bathygraphy is good too. I think both of those are correct. Anyway, it's such that it matters as well.
Right.
During Isabel, for example, there were certain areas that really got hit harder because of what was going on the lay of the land underneath the water.
That's fascinating.
That's crazy.
And so there are many individual areas that got hit harder because of the underwater topography, the bathygraphy. So so it climbed higher in those areas than it did.
Well, I just learned something new along with the viewers here.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
It's nothing to do with the cliffs.
That's wild too, because
It's
I
the
would have
size of the
always,
landmass.
I
Yeah,
always thought, because I've always seen pictures of Bermuda. They had those cliffs, those
it's
high
rocky.
rocky area. It almost kind of reminds you of some areas of California where the coastline.
It's not horribly high.
Right, it's not
above
too
sea level.
Right. That's wild. That's something I never knew that.
They do get storm surge, but they
Of
don't
course,
get.
but it's not the whole island's not getting washed out.
No, because it's not too. Mass meets mass.
Right.
Well,
Right.
mass is sliding around
it.
mass.
Yeah, it's able
Yeah.
to kind of move out of the way in a way.
Yeah, that's why your second home doesn't get affected there, Brian.
My second home in Bermuda?
No.
Bermuda.
Not buying
Never been
anytime
there.
soon.
No, never been there. Actually, it'd be kind of fun to visit, though.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun to visit. Let's go back to the GFS here. So this is the deterministic model, meaning that this is the run from the 12Z run. This is this morning's run. We'll probably get our 18Z or our afternoon update here in the next couple of hours. That storm staying close to Puerto Rico here, pretty close. That's Saturday.
Yeah, they will probably have to worry about the tropical storm force wind gusts, especially. They're the center. If it takes that more southern line with the cone, that puts it pretty close.
Yep, and that's where we saw some of those red lines on the spaghetti model plot.
Yeah, the GFS.
We saw them, from the GFS, a little bit closer to Florida and to the U.S., but it does make that sharp turn, though, on Wednesday as it starts to head to the north and the northeast. So we don't have the impact coming right towards us.
This is great for ECSC.
And
this is shaping up. This could be.
Yeah.
I'm claiming it right now. This could be, depending on the local winds, the conditions, of course, could be one of the best runs of swell they ever have for that event.
Yeah,
with the way this storm is going.
No wind or a west or south.
Right.
Just
it's
an
just
offshore flow.
Yep.
At this point here, let's see if I can put a thing on here so I can put some arrows. So the wind should be coming in. Oh, this isn't set up like my computer.
It's good. There's going to be a window
like
where
this.
it is. There is going to be an onshore component. But you have to also watch, there's going to be this front that's kind of moving through at a similar time. Does that fully push through?
Right.
Can that switch the wind and clean up the surf a little bit? You could kind of see it there. It's off to our north and west.
Yes, that's the front right there. That kind of line of rain that you see extend to Boston through New York.
That's going to play a big role into the conditions, because if it's onshore and this big, it's going to be very challenging.
And if it's and if we're in the zone that's just ahead of the front, we'll have a southwest wind, and we'll have these huge waves rolling in.
Hey, look, we also have to look though, with the storm being offshore like that, and with a little bit of that onshore wind, if this ends up happening, overwash is going to be something we really need to look out for on the Outer Banks.
Yeah, I think
in spots.
We've got that jug handle bridge now, which bypasses the places that it used to be really, really big. It's really right on down toward Buxton where we got it last time.
Yeah.
Yep. That jug hand, because that area north of Rodanthe is just getting destroyed. That road there, P Island area.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
It's washing right over.
Yeah.
But the jug handle bridge kind of goes past the place that used to be the worst.
It might be a new inlet in the next couple of years, or one big storm. Could be.
Could be.
A small one. Here's the European model. So this has the storm again moving up. So let's see where we're at. So here we are right now, initialization. We have that storm moving still north of Puerto Rico, a little bit more north than the GFS, and it stays a little bit more out to sea, coming closer to the U.S., but not super close, and then it makes its push to the north, going in between Bermuda and Norfolk. The only
Euro's still a little closer.
Concern I have, it's closer, and we're in that wind field now. So the surf on Wednesday and into Thursday won't be clean. It'll be really choppy out there.
If the Euro verifies, it'll be kind of a mess.
It'll blow it out.
That's the thing. It's all going to depend on the local condition, the local winds, to determine if surf's going to be even really that good. There's going to be size. We know that. It's just a matter of which way is the wind direction. Can we clean up the surface of the ocean?
Will there be tidal flooding with this kind of situation?
If it's closer, then definitely.
Yeah, if it is this situation, we would likely see some tidal flooding. Really, in the days leading up to Thursday, when it's at its closest, and really both models are agreeing on the timing of the storm at its closest to being offshore. It'll be a week from today, so we got 7 days. We got next Thursday.
Getting closer to a new moon by then too. So
that's true too.
Yeah, full moon was a while ago, and now we're still a week out. So
lots of things to think about. We'll take another quick break, and then we'll be right back. We'll show a couple more things on Erin, and also maybe some local stuff. We got some heavy rain potentially overnight tonight for some spots, so we'll talk about that coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
a little bit.
I'm joking. Yeah, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that coming up. All right, we're back.
That's a sound that my doorbell makes when someone rings the doorbell now.
It's a very soothing sound.
Yeah, it's the sound when I entered the room. It goes, I got my own music with me.
Yeah, his own intro and outro.
Yeah,
his theme song.
Wave heights with this storm. We're going to do this quick.
Big.
We got to focus on the flooding for tonight too, but flooding chances, I should say, for tonight. Wave heights. So we're looking pretty big.
Going to be big.
So this will start to send the swell and the waves into our area. Probably Monday?
I think early Monday. It could, maybe Hatteras starts to pick up that longer period swell late Sunday, but we're not going to start seeing differences until through the day Monday and then into Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at that Monday. It's already starting to fill in.
Yeah, filling in long. It's going to be a long period though. So if you're a surfer, find a good sandbar that can hold a longer period swell. It might be tricky. Might be a lot of closeouts. And depending on how close this thing gets, your chances for surf, it's really going to depend on that track.
What's your favorite day? The target? I'm thinking Tuesday.
I love. I like getting into the big heavy stuff. So I really want to get out there maybe Wednesday, Thursday, but it's going to depend on the track. It's really going to depend on if it's too close. If it's too close, Tuesday, and then the day after it passes off to the northeast. If it's taking more of an approach closer to Bermuda, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be pumping. It's going to be massive.
Yeah,
but also the wind should be a little better.
I'm betting on Friday, the day after.
It's looking dicey though. It's going to depend on where this thing goes. If it's too close, that Wednesday, Thursday slot's going to be a little gnarly.
I don't think it's going to fade away as fast as some predictions I've seen say for Friday.
There should be some leftovers.
Yeah.
There should be leftovers.
The whole ocean is getting slammed with a Category 3 hurricane.
Yeah.
This will linger.
It will. I mean, that's the kind of thing when you have it going on. And it's going on for a week. It's pushing water for a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be fine.
And that's going to be carrying on out ahead of it and behind it.
Look, for surfers, regardless of kind of the track it takes, you have plenty of opportunities for surf.
I can't believe the ECSC is when? The weekend after that?
No, it starts
it's
Monday.
Yeah. It's this
Monday?
that whole week.
Excuse me. No, Sunday, the 17th.
It couldn't be 17th is Sunday, right?
Yes.
It couldn't be a better timing for this event.
Unbelievable.
Potentially the best waves that UCSC's ever seen, depending on conditions.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been going for a long time.
Time. Who knows? I can't remember. I don't. Looking back in history, I wonder what the next biggest swell, because this one could be the biggest.
Yeah,
it could be.
Yeah.
At least again, conditions is a big question mark, but at least we know there's going to be the size.
So just heads up, don't go to First Street Jetty to paddle out.
Nope, because they will be running a contest.
Yep, unless you entered.
Everywhere is going to be breaking though, so you don't have to worry about one spot. There's going to be waves everywhere.
Well, don't go to my spot.
Don't go to Jeff's spot. Jeff might try to. Jeff's a big, heavy local. Let's get into the flooding thing a little bit, because there is a flood watch out for portions of the area, especially the south side, I believe, into North Carolina too.
Yes.
Hampton Roads City's south side, North Carolina until 2 a.m. There could be some spots that get 1 to 2 inches, maybe a tiny bit more if a downpour sits over for a long period of time. It's so humid out there, you can kind of just feel it. It's prime time for the atmosphere to just kind of dip the sponge into the bucket of water and just wring it out over one area. You can kind of see some heavy rain ongoing now. North Carolina really coming down. The Outer Banks, portions of there, kind of towards Manio, Dare County.
Wow, look at that.
Mainland Dare. What is that? Towards Nags Head's getting slammed right now,
kind of
right?
Nags Head, but really not.
A little south.
Nags Head.
South Nags Head.
Towards the Oregon Inlet, getting slammed. A lot of lightning, too. But yeah, and this is kind of a training storm.
Blossoming. What is the time frame on that?
That's 1 hour.
It's 1 hour loop. Yeah.
It's just
Look
really
at the lightning just come up really quickly.
Yeah. That could be problematic in terms of wind, too, with that kind of quick
it could. A quick flare-up. Yeah. Definitely could see some maybe brief wind gusts with that, over 40 miles per hour, maybe. Let's say
a little bit.
30.
Getting 30s, so
30 to 40. This is obviously, too.
Other side of the water.
This is well away from the radar source, so you got to think this is up a little bit. So, yeah, maybe 20 to 30.
Yeah, some gusts of wind.
Gusts of wind.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is the rainfall, though. The rainfall rates could, definitely exceed an inch per hour, and lightning. So watch out for that if you're out on the roads.
Those are moving. Those are moving east, and that's a situation
are moving east.
that we call training, where you get one after the other.
And look, North Carolina is dealing with this for a little while here. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We're going to be watching maybe portions of the Hampton Roads cities in the south side. I'd say later during the evening hours.
It looks like here it almost sends an outflow boundary to the north into Virginia. That's what's going to flare up
colliding
the stuff tonight.
Storms. Yep.
So North Carolina, you get it first. We'll see if it skips over Elizabeth City. This suggests that it does. But again, this is just one model. This is the graph high-res model that's updated every hour. Another model that we have is the HRR model, and that does have the same trends.
It wants to put more heavy rain into the peninsulas and maybe Hampton Roads as well. So we'll have to watch. I think it's going to be for really north of the state line. It'll be pretty scattered, but where it does start coming down, it could pour. And watch out again for the lightning.
It does kind of put the outflow boundary on up into the region too.
Yeah, you kind of notice that, right? Yeah. It kind of flares, boom.
Yep.
Yeah. All pushing north.
So that's what we have for tonight. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that. We're running low on time here, but so for this evening, it's all about the flooding chance. We're going to be keeping an update and an eye on Erin as well, show you some of the latest models, because the new European model should be coming in the next probably 20 minutes. It usually comes in around this time of day. So we'll be looking at that. We'll also be looking at a bunch of other things coming up on our newscast at 4 o'clock in 30 minutes. Brian, you'll be doing that, and then I'll be doing the news after that.
Yeah, the graph updates, the GFS updates too, so all of them update.
Shout out to Brian. He gets to surf in the wave pool very soon, so...
Can't say that yet, actually.
Well, soon, because they're opening soon. They're opening soon, yeah. Well, I'm not saying when, but
definitely.
soon.
Definitely stay tuned for that. We'll have more on our later newscast, and otherwise, we will see you tomorrow.
I'm in the